We are on lesson 4.7, page 253, and we're still using unit rate. We're now just using it to find a missing number on an equivalent ratio. So instead of like drawing lines towards the missing number and you're like, these don't really like get along, it's not a clean ratio, you have to find the unit rate. And remember, if you find the unit rate, you push the top number over. So 16 and 32. 32 can't fit into 1. 32 can't fit into 6. Oh no! What are we gonna do? We're gonna add a decimal, and I usually like to add 2 zeros. 32 can fit into 160 5 times. It's 160 and 0. I don't need an extra 0, I just know that it's 0.5. So to rewrite this, remember on a unit rate we want to go down to 1. Okay? And then whatever answer we get at the top, that is going to be our answer up here. So for the time being, I am going to erase this because now we have a unit rate. And now I can do my lines. How did I get from 1 to 14? I had to multiply times 14. I do the same thing to the top times 14, and my missing number is 7. If I multiply 0.5, which is just half, times 14, and I know that half of 14 is 7. Okay? Moving on to number 3. Remember to take your original, or not original, but your ratio that has 2 numbers, shove the top number over. 21 divided by 7 is 3. Remember, the top number is going to be your new top number, and a unit rate is out of 1. I'm going to erase this so it's not distracting us. And draw your arrows towards the missing boxes now. How did I get from 3 to 18? I multiplied by 6. Do the same thing to the bottom. 1 times 6 is 6. Okay, try and find the unit rate of this one. Okay, divide by 12, divide by 12, push the top number over. 3 and 12. When the outside number is bigger, you already know that it's going to have decimals. 12 cannot fit into 3. 12 can fit into 30. And it can fit into it 2 times, which is 24. If I subtract that, I get a 6. 0. That can fit into it 5 times, and my answer is 0.25. Remember, this is our top number, 0.25, and if it's a unit rate, what is the bottom number? 1. I'm going to erase this so it doesn't get confusing. 1 times what got us to 16 times 16, and 0.25 times 16 gets us something. I know what it is in my head, but I'm going to write it out. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 plus 3 is 8. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 1 plus 1 is 3. 0, 0, carry the 1. 4. There are 2 decimal places in my original problem. 1, 2. My answer is 4. How I knew that it was 4 at the beginning, I know that 0.25 is equal to 1/4. And 1/4 of 16, if I do know my multiplication, then I know that 1/4 of 16 is 4. So if you know that this means divide by 4, then you're good to go. But if you don't know it, then do it the long way. Okay? This one's gonna be a whole lot easier. Honestly, if you want to, you don't have to put it into a unit rate. You can just simplify it because both of these numbers are even. And if I just simplify it like a regular fraction, I could say divide by 2 and divide by 2. And I would get 3/5. Okay, that's not a unit rate, but it is a ratio that gets along with this 25 over here. So how did I get from 5 to 25? I multiplied by 5. Do the same thing to the top, times 5. My answer would be 15. Okay, if you can see those numbers and how they get along with one another, just by simplifying it by 2 or simplifying it by 3, do it this way, because this is a whole lot of work up here. Okay, sometimes you have to do it this way. Sometimes you do have to find the unit rate and take it all the way down to 1. Okay, on your worksheet, I only want you to do the right-hand side, number 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then on the back, I don't want you to do any of the lines. I just want you to fill out number 1, 2, and 3 on the back. Just ignore the lines. I don't need you to explain everything in the world. You can use this as where to show your work. That would be cool. But I'm just looking for these answers right there. Okay, after you do this, then you have task cards to do. Remember, on your task cards, you have to write A, B, C, or D. I don't have the answers written out on my answer key, so just make sure that you write A, B, C, or D. Okay, have an awesome day. Be amazing.